Hey guys, it's Alpha, and in today's lesson we're going to be learning how to create storage boxes and GUIs within MCreator. So to get started, we're going to open up MCreator. And open up our mod workspace. And in here we've got our tin and bronze folders from last lesson. And today we're going to be going into the tin folder as we're going to be creating a tin barrel as our example today. So we're going to add a new block. I'm going to call this tin barrel, like so. And this one, unlike the rest of our blocks that we've made so far, which have single textures, this one is going to have a normal texture as it's got a different top and bottom, which from the sides. So the side texture will be the same on all sides, but then the top and bottom texture are different. So here we've got our textures. So we've got the tin barrel just here. So we're trying to add in the side at the moment. So we'll do tin barrel side. And that's applied to everything, but we can remove it from the top and bottom by overriding them. So tin barrel top, just there. Once this loads. Try again, there we go. Tin barrel top. And then the bottom as well. Tin barrel bottom, like so. And there we go. So there we've got the texture created for our tin barrel. And if you want to use the textures that I'm using in this series, I've compiled them all into a file ready for your download. So if you want to do so, you can join the File Access Club, where you'll get full file access, where you can download every texture, every block, every sprite, every model that I've created for this series. Alternatively, you can join the Exclusive Access Club, where you get the full file access alongside early video access and also access to exclusive members only videos. You also get priority replies to comments, and you will also get member shoutouts. But anyway, we'll continue on. So with the block rotation mode, we're going to want to set this one to log rotation, as just like when you place down logs in the game, you want the block to be facing you. The block is not waterloggable, so we don't want to set that, and it's not got transparent parts either. So now we're going to go to our properties tab and make sure that the in-game name is tin barrel. And then we're going to just check all of this. So we don't want it to have gravity. It doesn't have emissive rendering. It's not replaceable. It does have an item form, and you could have 64 of them in a stack. And it's going to be in the functional blocks tab in the creative inventory. The tool to destroy it is an axe. Now it doesn't require the correct tool to drop, but you'll break it faster with that. And the vanilla tool tier is none because you can break it with a wood one. The sound set we're going to use for this, I believe, will be metal because it's obviously a tin barrel. So we'll go for the metal sounds there. And under the advanced properties, we're going to set the note block instrument to iron xylophone because it's a metal block. And I don't think we need any of these to be changed. No. So next we're going to go to block entity. And in here we are going to enable block entity for this block, which is going to allow this block to have a GUI. Now, as you can see here, we don't have any GUIs created. So we're actually going to go back to the workspace here, and we're going to create a GUI, which will be called tin barrel GUI, like so. And in here, as you can see, it creates a graphical user interface template. And up here, you've got GUI type. So you've got without slots or with slots. And obviously, we're going to want slots in this one. So it shows you the user's inventory at the bottom. And then obviously, you've got space for the storage inventory at the top. So you've got the width and the height of the GUI here. And you've also got the inventory offset. So that's the player's inventory offset just there. So you can move it around. So obviously you can add as many slots as you like. I'm only going to add 3 slots to today's GUI just to save time, but it's only for a premise's sake. I'm just making it a bit smaller just so it looks a bit more normal with the amount of slots we're going to be using. There you go, so it's a little bit smaller, but obviously you can have it a lot bigger to add more slots if you like. So on the left here, we've got adding a text label, which we're going to do, and we're going to call it tin barrel, like so, and we'll put that in the top left, like that. I'll just drag that to the right a little bit, it's a bit out of space, there we go. And then we've also got other options to add an image, a sprite, a button, an image button, checkbox, slider, text input, tooltip, entity model, input slot, and output slot. So we're going to be adding some input slots. I'm just going to leave all of these settings as they are, but you can change the color of the slot. You can also limit the stack input to certain items, like how in a furnace it can only have certain items in the fuel slot. And you also want it to drop the items when the GUI is not bound to any external inventory. So I'm going to just go press save slot, and then we can place the slot down into our GUI. So I'll place the slot just there. I think I've placed it off a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same deal for 2 more slots. Obviously, you're going to do this a lot of times if you want a large, like chest-sized barrel. But I'm just going to do 3 slots for simplicity today. So there we go. That is all we need to do with our GUI. So I'm going to press save mod element in the top right. And we're going to go back to our tin barrel. And we're going to bind the tin barrel GUI like so. And obviously we want it to open the GUI on right click. So when we right click the barrel, it opens that screen. And as you can see here, it's already detected the 3 slot count for our GUI. So if you want a large amount of slots, such as 27, which is 3 by 9, then you're going to want to set that to 27. And then max stack size. So this will actually only change anything if the item being placed in the chest has a equal or higher stack size than you've set here. So even if I set this stack size to what it already is here, to 1024, if I was to place something like iron ingots in, it won't actually be this. The max stack size will still be 64 because it takes the lower value of this and the item itself that you're placing in. That one's limited in just your inventory, for example. So ender pearls, I believe, have a max stack size of 16. So that will also have a max stack size of 16 even in our inventory. So here I'm just going to set this to 64, the usual. And then you've got drop inventory items when block is destroyed. So if the barrel has any items in it, you want them to drop on the floor when the item breaks. And then you've got block output comparator data. So if you want it to output redstone signal when it's got stuff in it, then you can do that. And then you've got disable taking from the following slots. So this is only for like things like hoppers. So if you want it to have certain slots that the hoppers don't take items out of, then you can just set that there. And the same for inserting as well. If you don't want it to insert into certain slots, then you can do that there. Energy and fluid storage we're not going to touch because this item is not a sort of battery or like a fluid tank, so we don't need to touch those. Triggers we also don't need to do anything with, and also generation because it's not a naturally generating block. So we're going to save the mod element. And before we boot up the game to test it, we're actually just going to make a quick crafting recipe for the barrel. So we're going to call it tin barrel crafting, like so. Now, normally a wood barrel is created with 6 wood planks and 2 wood slabs. So we'll do like the tin equivalent to that. So we'll do 6 tin ingots and 2 tin nuggets, like so. Because then it also just gives a use to the tin nugget item. There's not much use other than that. So I think that's a good alternative. And then the item that's going to be outputted is obviously the tin barrel. And the item that unlocks this recipe will be tin ingots and tin nuggets. There we go. So we've got the crafting recipe complete. So now we can go into the game and test out our barrel. Here we go. So if we launch a world, here we are. So we can go into the creative tab and go to functional blocks, where we should find the tin barrel just here. So if we place this down, there we go. So we've got 3 slots in here and we can place 3 different items, as you can see. And if we break the barrel, then the items drop. So if I grab some stacks of items, so I'll do a 64 item, then I'll also do the ender pearls, which is 16, like I said earlier. That is the max stack size that can be stored in here as well. So if I was to grab another stack of ender pearls, for example, they won't stack into one slot. They will just create a new stack at that point. And we can't, as you can see, I'm shift clicking here. We can't put any other things in this storage block. because all 3 slots are currently occupied. So there you go, there's our tin barrel. It looks great. And when we break it, all of our items are dropped. Now I'm also going to make a variant of this for bronze, since we've also got bronze in our mod now. I will make a bronze barrel. But that will be the same steps as what we've done for creating the tin barrel, so I'm not going to show you that stuff. And if you do want to do the same, then you can do so as well. Just create your bronze barrel with the textures provided in the File Access Club. And you can set that to have more slots if you like, since it obviously is a more expensive block to make. Or you could just have it, you know, the same slot count as a regular barrel or less or whatever, and just have it a decorative, you know, a more visual difference between the types of barrels. But that is it for today's lesson. I hope you guys have learned something new. And also, if you want to create your own server and use your mod in it, or use any other mods that you've seen online, then you can click this video just here, where you can learn how to create your own Minecraft server. But anyway guys, it's been great to learn with you, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Goodbye.